Hey guys, Cam here. Today we're gonna unboxing and set up this InkSonic C13A printer. I'll show you what's in the box, how to set it up, how to properly prime the printer, make your first transfer, and we're gonna make a t-shirt together. I run a printer repair shop here in North Carolina. I've seen and repaired hundreds of DTF printers. In my spare time, I do printer reviews and rip them apart. So I'm surprised InkSonic C13A asked me for a review. It came in as a printer bundle and also separate shipment supplies. In the supplies, I got 2 bags of powder, a bottle of cleaning solution, a bottle of 2 sets of ink. So got 2 yellow, 2 magenta, and 2 whites. In the package, we got some sample shirts, got 2 white shirts, 2 black shirts, paper menus, and the software. It also comes with a mini heat press. They also give you a multimeter, which is handy when you troubleshoot your printer. You have a full roll of A3 film. Oh boy, they even give you an oven. My infrared oven just broke yesterday, and I hope they give us an infrared oven. I'm going to put a link to this printer in the description. It looks intimidating, you get so much stuff. However, if you follow this video, I'm going to show you step by step how to set it up. We start by unwrapping the 2 black holders for the roll. Then we take off the protective tapes from the printer. It's very nice of them to including spare control panel and also a fuse. I'll show you where to put this fuse in. This is also for troubleshooting when you have problems. Now we lay everything on the table, open up the user manual, and we're going to lay it in the position exactly like what's in the manual, so you know what you have, what you don't have. The manual actually starts with a customer support. How to contact them, what's their office hours, that's a good sign. Now flip the page where they have parts, and as I said, lay that out and count them, make sure you have everything. This one with a license sticker is a dongle. The other USB, not this dongle, has the software and the instruction videos. I suggest you to make a copy of this. Always work on the copy, so you'll always have the original. So we right click on the file and select extract. Then we select a folder that we want to extract to. In the extracted folders, we can see the manual and a tutorial video in the first folder. Since we're here, we're going to click the second folder and install the 64-bit driver. Now we install the 2 holders for the roll. The silver clip is towards outside. Here's where that fuse is. It already has a fuse in it. The one in your package is just spare fuse. I don't know how you do your toilet paper at home. Under versus over. For DTF, it's over, okay? Otherwise, if you do under, you're going to print on the wrong side of the film. Now we're going to put the extended platen on. You got 2 holders and a cutter, 4 screws. The trick is the 2 holes for the rod should be inwards, so you can put the rod on. And also, when you install, there's a wheel cutter. It has to fit the long grooves on the platen. If you can only cut one side, and that's because you tighten the screw too much, so you have to untighten it, the cutter going to drop down, and then you can cut it evenly. Again, this is a dongle, and this is a regular USB drive. We're going to plug in the USB cable from the computer into the printer and remove the protective tape on the printhead. We're going to do a dry run to see if there are any errors. No error, that's good. And here is how you turn the vacuum platform off and on. Again, in the folder number 2, we click the 64-bit driver and install it. You don't have your printer on to do this. However, I would like to have my printer on so I can see my printer is mounted correctly. In the folder 4, there's a software called the Wisp Ink cleaning software. If you unzip it, your antivirus is probably going to catch it. You can see I had a pop-up window from Norton Antivirus. So I go to Norton and click See Details. Under Status, you're going to see it's moved to Quarantine. I click the Quarantine. You can see the adjustment program is moved to Quarantine. So I just click on it, select Create Exclusion, so restore it, and then your printer will not accidentally delete it. This is why I said the first thing you do after you get this printer is make a copy of this USB disk. In the future, if your printer delete it, you can restore it. Here's the software in the future that you need to use it to reset your WizPad. So we come down and you're going to see one of the USB. For example, this 53 is at photo 1390. That means it's correctly mounted. Again, that's just my way of checking it. You don't need to do this for the installation, but it's nice to cover this because in the future you'll need this software to reset your WizPad. Okay, now we get back to folder number 3. You can see there are 2 steps to install the RIP software. So we just do the first one. I'll take the computer to restart, so let's play with this printer. This is the waste tank. The smaller tube is from the capping station, and the large tube is from the print and maintenance unit. We're going to fill in those with ink. I suggest you invest in a shaker or roller. I have another video about how to modify rock roller into an ink roller, which I'll put in the description section. I only use rolled white ink. That's why my white ink never clogs. So for you right now, you just want to shake every ink before you add them to the tank. Now get a piece of paper towel or toilet paper, roll it into a long ball, long string or something, and stuck in this gap. Later on, this piece of paper going to save your life. Don't ask me how, you're going to see. The next step will be a little bit different. Today we're reviewing C13A DTF plus oven. One of the features is one-click ink setup. You can just press one button and get all the ink draw in, versus the traditional that you prime each individual damper. Although we fill the ink, all the lines and the dampers are still empty. We're going to use those 2 buttons to fill it up. The white ink circulation button makes the circulation motor running. The motor is controlled automatically, but sometimes you want a manual override. For example, right now, we want to pump white ink into the tube. On the right side, one-click ink setup button, that gets the motor underneath the capping station working. That will draw the ink into the printhead. So right now, we're going to press the white ink circulation button first and watch the white tube, make sure the white tube are all filled with white ink. After we see the white tubes all filled, we're going to press the ink setup. Maybe you don't see the ink come in the tube right away, but if you pay attention to this large tube, you're going to see the ink exit that tube. Hold it between 30 to 60 seconds until all the dampers are full. Pay attention to that large tube because you should see the grayish ink. The gray is CMYK plus white. And sometimes if one color doesn't come out, it won't look gray. After fill up, we're going to press the white circulation button again to remove those air bubbles. We're going to hold down the button until all the bubbles going away. Now we can load the film. Remember, over, not under. The leftmost 2 buttons are forward and back. Again, if you cannot cut evenly, that means your rod is installed too tight, so you have to untighten the screw. Okay, the computer restarted, so we go to second step of installing the software. If it says your dongle didn't plug in because you forgot to plug in your dongle, so plug it in and you can fire up the software. Click this button on your top right And you can select language to be English. And scale, I suggest you use millimeter, mm. Press this big leftward arrow here. And now we click on the printer. And you can see the printer is installed. Click the next button to the printer and select the printer. You only need to do this the first time you use this printer. Now we click this button on the right side and we select a manual print after rip. Now we use this big arrow again to switch back to the regular view. We click this button and set the paper size to be A3. Now we click this image select button and select our image from hard drive. Boom, the image is too big, so we have to shrink it down. So for the width, we want to be like 60 millimeters. You can see it's too much on the edge, so I want to be X, which is horizontal, start 30 millimeters. Here you can rotate it, and also to print a DTF, you have to mirror image, so you want to be horizontal flip. So click this triangle, and also if you right click on the image itself, you can have more advanced selections such as arrow hole. I'm going to have another video to cover those. Not critical, but if you don't want your image to look like have a white border, you can set those edge be like 0.1 millimeter. So they will like the white ink will be like inside of the color ink. When you press on the black shirt, it won't have a white edge. It's first time print, so before I print, I want to check the driver settings. And click driver setting, and in the ink setting, just make sure your channel is correct. So you get a yellow, black, and 2 white in the middle, a magenta and a cyan. So that's correct. Just make sure. Click rip, and it's going to rip to 100%. Remember, we select manual, so it will not print after rip. You have the right click and select print. Of course, you can select automatic. However, I like to rip a couple of them and select which one I want to print. And you can see we have magenta and we do not have cyan. And so we're missing one color, and the yellow and black is printing good. And also the white ink coverage is good. This is quite normal actually for a brand new printhead, because brand new printhead has shipping fluid in them, and sometimes it got a couple tries to get the fluid out. Just another way to show you the cyan is not working. So if we see the waste pad on the left, this is where the printer do the flash cleaning. And you can see yellow and black, but for the magenta and the cyan, you only see a red, and the white look good. On the capping station, you can also see, you only see red, and usually you see purple because you got 2 inks mixed together. We take the cyan cartridge out and make sure it is filled with ink. Press down securely and make sure it is locked on the printhead carriage. And now we press this printhead maintenance unit. Okay, let's see. And the problem is fixed. If you go to the internet, you're going to see so many people have problem with their colors. One color doesn't come out, the white ink doesn't come out, and this printhead maintenance button is a godsend for DTF users. Overall, I feel this production level printer, which you can use it professionally to print hundreds, thousands of shirts. Usually, from 1390 printer, you get about 6 minutes to 9 minutes per shirt. And let's see this one. And I have a pretty long design, and this finish in 8 minutes. Now we coat it with a powder. You want to hang it up and dry it. Otherwise, if you bake it directly, you're going to see lots of bubbles on it. I usually print 50 designs at a time and then dry it. And surprise, they sent me an infrared oven. The unit I have doesn't have the bulb installed. Lucky for you guys, let me show you from start how this bulb works. This is my old unit. See this broken bulb? That's from the shipping. I got it this way. For each side, you get a wire coming in from the back, and this loop just connect the top and the bottom connectors. So for each bulb, as long as you connect one wire to the left, another wire to the right, you're golden. Because you open and close the unit a lot, actually this wire get cut here and had a spark and burn out. For this unit, still here is pretty sharp, so I'm going to wrap some tape on it later. You can open up this way, and also you can slide the drawer out. So I'm going to put a handle on both. Slide the bottom tube on. I wanted the wire to be tight, just enough to reach the connector, and so it won't dangle there while the whole unit is in heat. And do the same to the other part. I'm not connecting the connector yet because we're going to twist and combine the wires from the second tube. You can get a replacement tubes from the internet. So this one is 110 volts, 400 watts. So I cut the second wire at the same length and strip both wires and twist them together. Insert into the holes for the first connector and then tighten it. And do the same to the right side. So we got the two bottom tubes installed. And we do the same to the top two tubes. I also encourage you to invest in personal protection units. Again, I'm going to cover that in another video. I'm just going to tape this to my existing exhaust system. I'm going to have an adapter later. There are two switches. The one in the back is the main switch. Turn it on, you're going to see this control panel on. Press the blue temp, you're going to see SV light is on. Now you can set your target temperature. Press the temp again, SV light off, and the oven going to start heating towards that target. The timer is the same. Press temp, you're going to see ST is on, and then you set your target seconds. So the unit is seconds. The second switch doesn't have a light. Decides you're going to use the timer or not. So you turn it off, it will not use the timer. You turn it on. Every time you insert the drawer back, it starts counting down. I like an infrared oven a lot more than the heat pad oven. This oven can average 4 transfers a minute. This is significant if you have lost transfers. For example, you have 40 transfers. If you do traditionally 1 minute or 1 minute 50 transfer, it will take you about an hour. However, if you do this oven, if you do it correctly, it take you 10 minutes. I'll show you how exactly make this miracle happens in the next video with this InkSonic oven. However, in this video, I just want to show you how to operate it and how to tell if you cure the film properly. So this is baked for 20 seconds, and we check on both sides, and they bake really evenly. However, you can see it has a wave there, and that means I baked too long. So I'm gonna decrease the time. You can see the temperature 144, 145 doesn't matter as long as your lamp is on. My target is 180, so my lamp is still on. And cured properly on both sides. Little goosebumps, nice. However, you can see in the middle it still get up and down, and it's a little bit better, but 15 seconds is still too long for this. And eventually I adjust this to 6 seconds. Again, nobody tell you can do 6 seconds transfer curing. How to do it? Watch my next video. Okay, let's try this mini heat press. There's a really nice menu. So basically you turn right and you can adjust the temperature, and you turn left half turn and you can adjust the time. I won't cover too much about how you use this heat press because you get a nice menu, only like a half-page read. The first press, we're going to put a t-shirt upside down, and you press the bottom of that dial, it's going to start the timing. Again, you notice I do not do pre-press. When you press hundreds of shirts, and every little bit of time is important. You do not want to pre-press. This is a cold peel film, so you want to cool it down a little bit before you peel it. Oh, it's not done yet, because if you look carefully, your transfer look like a rubber. How many times you'll see people wear this kind of DTF? Now get a Teflon sheet. You can get like 10 of this for like $15 on Amazon. Or you can just use a piece of fabric. Some people use denims. Denim also give really nice texture. It really depends on what kind of texture you want your final result to be. And also, this press, second press, will make your transfer stance up to or more than 50 washes, which is the industrial standard. Now your transfer looks really thin, really digging into the fabric. Check out that texture. That's a professional work. Okay, this printer is a keeper. You're going to see me make lots of videos on it. The print and maintenance function is really, really good. Again, if you need this printer, just check out the links on the description of this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. Visit us at bchtechnology.com or locally at Greensboro, North Carolina. Cheers!